Hi there! Today I'm going to talk about the core muscles. The core muscles are a complex set of muscles working together to hold your posture right. If well trained, they also allow a greater ease of movement for dancers. They are layered all around your torso, from the back to the front, creating a cavity inside you made of strong muscles to hold your internal organs too. They are made of the rectus abdominis, quadratus lumborum, psoas, transversus abdominis, and the pelvic floor, with the diaphragm sitting on it. But let's simplify. The rectus abdominis, or the six-pack if you want to call it like this. This is the main muscle that will make you bend forward or do your sit-ups. They go from the ribs all the way to your pubic bone. The quadratus lumborum. These are situated in your back. They will start from your ribs and attach to your ilium, your hips at the back. These are the muscles that make you do the flexion backwards, like in arabesque, for example. These are the muscles that are too short when you've got an arch back and need lengthening. The psoas. You have two. The psoas iliacus, which sits inside your hip bone, in your ilium, and the psoas major, which is attached to the lower part of your spine, goes deep inside your tummy and reaches all the way to the side of your femur. These are very important muscles for dancers. Well, actually for everyone, because without the psoas major, for example, we wouldn't be able to stand straight. We wouldn't be able to lift our knees forward, and for us dancers, the psoas assists the turnout. The transversus abdomini. These are three layers of muscles that surrounds the whole of your torso. They will hold your internal organs together and they will allow you twisting and bending sideways or, well, actually in many different directions. They play the role of our natural corset. The pelvic floor. It sits at the bottom of your pelvis, a little bit like the bottom of a jar. These are the muscles that you use when you want to go to the toilet and cannot go, and they hold your internal organs from the bottom. They may not look like it, but they are super important for ballet dancers. And finally, the diaphragm sits on top of all of this, a little bit like the jar's lid. It needs to be free to allow us to breathe though. The less efficient your core muscles are, the more you will have to use your surrounding muscles, like the diaphragm, to allow movement. As a result, tension will take place in the wrong part of your body and you will not be able to breathe freely. And before I go any further, I'd like to say thank you to KenHub for allowing me to use those illustrations, which made my work much easier to explain all that to you. The core muscle is first of all a postural muscles. They hold your posture right. If they are not engaged properly, you will have a bad posture, leading to injuries of all sorts. So it is very important to get that core nice and fit. By holding my core properly, I can jump straight. I can transfer my weight fully from one leg to the other with control, keeping nice and straight. I can walk with pride and security instead of looking unstable and insecure. I can keep my center line during my pirouettes. Something that takes a long time to master. It also helps me to stabilize my pelvis in the correct position. No bottom sticking out and belly button up. And it also allows me to control my hips no matter what my working leg is doing. We've seen that your core holds you straight, but it also enables you to move with grace. You see, with a strong core, my limbs, arms, head and legs are free to move and I look elegant. A little bit like a bunch of flowers held by a string. If you loosen the string, you do not have full control of where and how your flowers are arranged. If you tighten the string, however, your bunch of flowers will look lovely. Tight doesn't mean strong though. It isn't about how strongly you hold your core, but how toned it is. Being able to hold sufficient tension for a long period of time is what we want, keeping it flexible too. Doing hundreds of sit-ups will hurt and wake up your abdominal muscles, but if you relax totally the rest of the day, you will gain very little. It is more about being aware of those deep muscles throughout your dancing that we want, until it becomes a second nature. Here are some examples where I do not fully use my core to assist my movement. As a result, I do not look in control, and my butt posture may lead to injuries of all sorts. And everything I talked about in my previous video will be much harder to achieve. But how should I train those deep and complex muscles? We cannot possibly think about all those complex muscles, think about the steps we have to perform, smile and dance with expression, all at once. To engage your core, it is more efficient to use images than it is to think about all the different muscles at once. Here are a few images to help. Zipping up a tight pair of trousers will help you engage your transversus abdominis, the deepest one. Lifting your belly button towards your waistline, it will enable to relax the top part of your abdominals so you can breathe. Imagine you have a fountain or a strong jet of water coming up from the bottom of your pelvis. It will help you engage your pelvic floor. That jet of water can go all the way to the top of your head. To help engage your transversus abdomini, you can think of a belt coming from your back and wrapping you around the waist all the way to the front. You can also imagine you're wearing one of those old-fashioned corsets. Depending on your movements, one image will work better than another. I personally like the image of your belly button being a radiant sun, with the rest of your body being the planets. This really put the core of your body at the core of your movement, which is exactly what we want in ballet. As I said earlier, you want your core to be toned and not tense. You want to be able to breathe. Imagine that you have beads sliding away and towards your navel as you breathe in and out. You can use many other images involving not just your core, but the whole of your body to help your technique. And this is the beauty of ballet. Your imagination is without limits, as long as it works for you. I hope you found my little video useful, and I'm looking forward to see you next time. Bye!